In brightest day, in blackest night, no pop on sale shall leave my sight. Like, share, subscribe are the buttons to hit when the Green Lantern's on the Popper's Pit. Up next.
If you wanna know what pops to get, then pop on down to the Popper's Pit. Like, share, subscribe are the buttons to hit when you pop on by to the Popper's Pit.
What's poppin', Poppers? Welcome back to the Popper's Pit, the place where I share my love of Funko Pops with you. My New York Comic-Con exclusives are almost all in. My Iron Man came yesterday. I'm waiting on Vampire Burns, the Funko Pop Shop order of Officer Freddy and the Mandalorian. My Dwight, I received an email asking if I still want it from Amazon because there's been a delay. Of course, I said yes. I just find it a little weird because my friend Dave, hey Dave, he received his Dwight already, but he ordered his after mine. So I don't really know if it's just the way that Amazon works. Maybe the Amazon storage by him had more than this facility by me. I'm not sure. If you know, why don't you put down in that comments. And while you're there, please hit that like, share, and subscribe button. And if you notice, I have a new subscribe button up here. This little picture here that says subscribe. You can hit that, and it'll help you subscribe. You don't even have to hit that other subscribe button. You can hit this one. It's fine. It does the same job. As long as you subscribe. Thanks. So, that SNL Oscar the Grouch Joker parody was hysterical. I loved it. It was great. I don't recommend any children watch it, but it was great. Just throwing it out there, Funko. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing a Oscar the Grouch like that pop and a couple of the other characters. Just throwing it out there. But watch it. It's hysterical. And I really haven't been watching SNL, Saturday Night Live, for those who don't know. I haven't been watching it for a while, but I saw somebody posted that online, and I've already watched it like 6-10 times already. That's how good it was. It's hysterical. There's little things in it that you don't see before, little Easter eggs, like in the beginning, the guy talking to Oscar the Grouch is Grover Monster. It's just bravo. That's all I have to say. Why don't you just make more stuff like that? And it's good. So, today's episode, I didn't know what I was going to do until I realized that it's my friend Kevin's 30th birthday today. I'm releasing this on October 16th. And he is the Jon Stewart to my Hal Jordan. So I've decided I'm going to do the Green Lantern Pops that I have today. So, let me tell you a little bit about Green Lantern. I went a little bit into it with the Batman episode. I'm going to put a link up there for that. Green Lantern the first Green Lantern is completely different than the Green Lanterns that most people know nowadays. The first one was Alan Scott. He got his power from a magic lantern that he found during a train crash, and he created his own ring. Now, with the newer Green Lanterns, which I'd also like to point out, while I was doing my research, I found out that this is the Green Lantern's 60th anniversary this month. He came out in October of 1959, Hal Jordan, that is, and there's really hasn't been much of a to do with it. I guess maybe the Green Lantern movie with what's his name, Ryan Reynolds, didn't really go over too well, so they're trying to distance him until they come out with the newer movie. But this is the 60th anniversary of Green Lantern. This is one of the Justice League members. Why they should have a little bit more. So you're in for an exclusive, because this is the 60th anniversary of Green Lantern Party. So that means that Green Lantern Hal Jordan was 30 when my buddy Kevin was born. So let's go to Hal Jordan. Who is Hal Jordan? Hal Jordan is a test pilot. He is one of the main Green Lanterns in comic history, since they kind of put Alan Scott to the back burner. He is a test pilot. He witnessed his dad die in a crash because his dad was a test pilot as well. this is one of the original Funko Pops that came out, I do believe. Let's see if I could see a date on here. Not seeing a date anywhere. But this one is a PX exclusive. I'm going to find out what date this came out. Usually they have it somewhere on the bottom here. Oh well. I'll put it in the fancy stuff here. But Hal Jordan. This one just says Green Lantern, but considering that he has the brown hair, that means it is the Hal Jordan Green Lantern. And let's see if we can move this a little bit. He has his power ring on his right hand, on his middle finger, as it should be. Actually, earlier Green Lantern had his ring on his index finger. So, but later in the most recent, they have it on the middle finger. That's how whenever I wear my lantern rings for this show. Yeah, I don't wear them other times. It's on the middle. Back to the pop. So this is a PX exclusive. I paid a little bit more. I think it was $25 for it. I'll put what the price guide is underneath here. I don't really know what the difference is. What makes it the exclusive? I know there's a metallic version. I think this is just that they had the... No, this isn't the metallic version. I have an Aquaman, which is the metallic version. That's a PX exclusive. Yeah. So with Hal Jordan, there's a whole history of him. He was chosen to be a Green Lantern. He actually became a villain. He killed most of the Green Lanterns, and then he became the spirit. He was killed himself. Became the spirit of vengeance as a punishment for him becoming the evil Parallax, which is the embodiment of fear, or the entity of fear. And then he came back during Green Lantern Rebirth in 2004. So between 94 and 2004, he was not the Green Lantern. And then during the period of the 80s, he left the Green Lantern Corps as well. And we'll go into that in a little bit. Hal Jordan Green Lantern is one of my favorite superheroes. I like the ring. I love the lore of the emotional tie to the rings and the power. He is the Green Lantern, which is the power of will, which is being able to overcome fear, being able to control yourself. That's what the Green Lantern will is. But I'm gonna break this down a bit. The packaging, I'm not gonna really give too much hoopla to, because it's just the DC universe. It's not like you can't really beat the Batman 80th anniversary ones, but for what it is, it's a good package. I'll give it a 3. It's nothing really special. And the figure itself, actually, I'm gonna go back to the package. I don't like that they mention that it's Hal Jordan. Now, for those who do not know, there is a Green Lantern Corps. There's not just one Green Lantern. There's supposed to be one Green Lantern per sector. Earth is 2814. There's 2813s. 0 is Oa, the planet where the Guardians of the Galaxy, the original ones, are at base, and then before it blew up, and then Mogo, the planet, became the base for the Green Lanterns. But I've lost my train of thought. But I was talking about... Oh, yes. I don't like that they don't have Hal Jordan on here. It should be Green Lantern, Hal Jordan on the bottom, I feel. But then I guess they felt that people would know it was Hal Jordan. But there's also, could it be Guy Gardner? Because Guy Gardner is an alternative for Hal Jordan on Earth. He's been a Green Lantern for a couple of years. Actually, Guy Gardner was going to be the backup choice Hal Jordan, and the ring would have chose him, because what happens is when a Green Lantern dies, the ring chooses a new host, so to say. So when Abin Sur died, the ring found Hal Jordan, and the only reason that it chose Hal Jordan over Guy Gardner is that Hal Jordan was closer. But Guy Gardner ended up becoming a Green Lantern later. We'll get into that a little bit. But the figure itself, it's not bad. It definitely, the body is great. The mask, it just kind of looks generic. But it is what it is. They got the hair. It looks a little bit more like the like the 60s, 70s. I mean, the outfit really hasn't changed much over the years, but I had to have it because Hal Jordan's one of my favorite superheroes. I stuttered because I was trying to figure out where I would place him. I'd put him at definitely either 2 or 3. Definitely 2 in DC, but out of DC, Marvel is a little bit of a tie-up. But definitely number 2 in DC. Now, as I mentioned, there are more than one Green Lanterns, and I already mentioned Guy Gardner. There is a Guy Gardner pop. It comes with the 3-pack with Kilowog and Chip, who are also Green Lanterns. Kilowog is the trainer of the new Green Lanterns. There's a 3-pack. It was a Legion of Collectors exclusive, I do believe. I'm contemplating it. I'm going to get it because I already have 3 out of the 4 Earth Green Lanterns, of the main ones that they made. Talking about Hal Jordan, they did make a movie version of the Hal Jordan pop, and that's pretty expensive nowadays. Especially the metallic and a couple of variations, and they had a Sinestro who was a Green Lantern, became evil, started the Sinestro Corps, which holds the power ring that's yellow, which is fear. And talking about fear and yellow, is that originally the Green Lanterns could not use their ring against anything yellow, because yellow was the entity of fear, so it wasn't able to use it. They kind of did away with that later, especially when Kyle Rayner showed up, and we'll get to that in a bit. So I'm going to just switch out to Jon Stewart. No, not that Jon Stewart, not the late night show or the late show Jon Stewart, or Daily Show. That's what it is. But this is Jon Stewart. He was a Walgreens exclusive. See, here it says Green Lantern on the side, Jon Stewart. Now, you may know Jon Stewart a little bit more from the Justice League cartoons, because they used him more, and in the comics he's used a lot. He was chosen as a backup to Hal Jordan on Earth because Guy Gardner broke his leg. That guy could get a break. Guy Gardner, he ended up becoming a Green Lantern later on, as I said, but it's just like every time, oh, well, we're going to be a Green Lantern. Oh, well, sorry, you broke your leg. Oh, sorry, Hal Jordan was closer. We totally would have chose you, but, he was closer. But either way, Jon Stewart, I got that. Actually, I'm going to digress first. I'd like to point out here, you can see the Shazam and Green Arrow. If you see those two at a flea market or like a garage sale, and they're only selling them for like a couple of bucks, you buy that. You buy that, because those are worth, I'm going to put the number up, but the Shazam alone, I think so, about $1,000, and the Green Arrow is up there. And Green Arrow is one of Hal Jordan's best friends. They teamed up a lot in the 70s. But if you see, not the Green Arrow from the TV show, but this Green Arrow where he has the hood and this yellow, and the Shazam, not from the movie, but this one, I think Hawkman too is good, like, it's a grail, as we'll call it, where it's a higher priced. I'll check that out, put a yes or no. But yeah, I'm telling you, Pops, if you know what you're doing, it's a good business to be in. But Jon Stewart was in 1972. He was chosen to be a backup for Hal Jordan. He is an architect and a Marine. He is from Detroit. He was based off of Sidney Poitier, and Hal Jordan was based off of Paul Newman. So next time you have your salad with a Paul Newman dressing, think that the Green Lantern was based off of him. Now, I have a huge issue with this pop. A very, very, very big issue with this pop. Jon Stewart refuses to wear a mask in the comic books, but yet they put the mask on the pop. And that annoys me from a accuracy level where it's almost like that they took this pop and just made some slight changes. Let me check the hair. No, they made a new sculpt, so they willingly decided to make the Jon Stewart with a mask, even though that he's not supposed to have a mask. Yes, I am nerding out right now. I don't care. So, I'm going to give this figure a 3 because of that. It would have received higher because the outfit is very accurate to Jon Stewart, especially in the comic book. And not the comic book, I meant the animated series of Justice League, where he didn't have the white gloves that the Green Lanterns usually have, or at least the Hal Jordan Green Lantern had. So, shame on you, Funko. I'm sorry to say it, but shame on you. You should have did your research a little bit better. Other than that, I got it because, as I said before, my friend Kevin is the Jon Stewart to my Hal Jordan, so I got it because of him. And that's it. I mean, could they do a better Jon Stewart? Yeah, do one without the mask, but it is what it is. So let's move on to the last one. Now, when I said before about Hal Jordan becoming parallax, becoming evil, and then dying for a bit. You don't always die in the comic books. They always come back somehow. Hal Jordan took most of the rings and destroyed them, the power rings. But out of the debris of Hal Jordan's ring, Ganeth, one of the Guardians, as I mentioned before, the little blue guys, created a ring for Kyle Rayner. Now, if you remember my Comic-Con video, which I'll put the link up here, I already spoke about Kyle Rayner a little bit. They do not make a Green Lantern Kyle Rayner, but I'm going to show off the White Lantern one because it's as close to a Green Lantern Kyle Rayner that we're going to get, because technically the White Lantern can use all the emotional spectrum, so he can use the green willpower, make constructs out of that. I was actually just looking at my lantern back there. One of the things about the ring is that you have to charge it. It has a battery cell in it. And in the comics, it'll be, 2%, 3%. It'll let them know, and then you charge it. And depending on how much energy you use, depends on how fast you use it, like a cell phone or any battery. So the more that the lantern uses the ring, the more that it gets drained, and then they have to recharge it. So they kind of use that as a plot point, as like, oh no, Hal Jordan's only at 1%. How's he going to do this? And Abin Sur died because he didn't charge his ring, and he wasn't able to save himself. But if he didn't do that, then Hal Jordan never would have been Green Lantern. So, good things coming out of bad? I don't know. But Kyle Rayner, he is an artist. He was chosen to be Green Lantern. He is not a lot of people's favorite Green Lantern. I know my friend Gary hates, as he calls him, the boy. but I think Kyle's okay. He's an artist, so a lot of his constructs, which are the things that are made from the rings, are a little bit more elaborate. Like he'll create a dinosaur to fight somebody, where Jon Stewart, he'll create a lot of the time, especially in the comic books, it'll be just like bolts and not really anything fancy. Hal Jordan, he gets a little fancy with his. Like he'll create a airplane, like a fighter pilot, to fly into a battle to fight and stuff like. I mean, Jon Stewart does do his things. There's actually one really cool scene. I forget where it's from. I think it's from one where Hal Jordan gets hurt and he has to protect him. Where Jon Stewart's like, I'm a Marine, and he creates a whole construct army of the Marines through the years behind him. I'm going to try to see if I can find the image. I don't know about copyrights if I can use it, but if anything, I'll put a link down below where you can see the image. It's the fact that I remember it so vividly. It's a really good splash page in a comic book. And the splash page is when it's a page and like the two pages and there's one big piece of art that goes across both of them. So, but Kyle Rayner, he becomes the White Lantern. He stopped being the White Lantern recently. He became the White Lantern because of the whole Blackest Day, Brightest Day, Blackest Night, Brightest Day thing. I could go into it a lot more, but what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put a link to the Comicstorian up here. And I'm going to put at the end of the video, put a subscribe to the Comicstorian, because he does an excellent Black Lantern, Blackest Night, and the Brightest Day, and the whole White Lantern story. So I'm just going to put that there. That way that you don't have to hear me talking about it. Let him talk about it. It's a lot more entertaining than me. Say. You're supposed to say, no, it's all right. No, you're entertaining. I hear you out there. It's all right, though. All right, so with this Kyle Rayner, I'm going to give the figure itself a 4, because it does not glow in the dark, as there's a variant of this one that glows in the dark. This is not the glow in the dark variant. At least I don't think it would say it. But, other than that, I mean, the package is nice. You can see the Brightest Day, Superman, Batman, Flash, and Wonder Woman on the back here, too. Now, they only had those powers for a little bit, and then once the Brightest Day storyline ended, they lost all the White Lantern powers. I think they even ended after Blackest Night. Like, they only used that to defeat Necron. But as I said, Comicstorian, he'll have everything for you. So, I think this is an excellent place to stop. I'm going to say that we have the WUWW next match on November 9th. I'll put the link, it's below, at WUWWrestling. We have the S&D podcast, the Empty Arena podcast, Art by Alley, at Bulletproof Comics. I recommend, if you're in the New York area, at Bulletproof Comics, if you want to pick up Rebirth. That's where I picked up my issues all those many moons ago when they first came out. They have a trade back of Rebirth. I recommend going there. Ask Hank, hey, I'd like to read up about Green Lantern, and he'll say, hey, go to the Green Lantern section. And he won't say it just like that. Like, okay, Hank's a great guy. But so we have that. I think that's StephenKeslowitz.com, which I'd like to say they announced Black Mirror Funko Pops. And for those who don't know what Black Mirror is, it's it was originally a BBC show that Netflix took over. I think the Twilight Zone, but about electronics. It's standalone, even though there's reference other episodes. It's an anthology show where one episode doesn't matter with the next. I enjoy it. And Stephen Kesslowitz wrote a book about it. So what I'm going to try to do here, and Steve, this is the first time you're hearing this, is I'm going to try to see if I can get the Pops, have you on the Poppers Pit, and we'll talk about the Pops and your book, because I think they're coming out about the same time. So StephenKesslowitz.com, I'll put all that information down below. And I really don't have much to say. Next time you see me, it'll probably be with my 2019 New York Comic Con exclusives. And let's end this on a pop. Thanks for popping by. Make sure to please hit that like, share, and subscribe button, as well as pressing that bell icon. That way you can be alerted the next time the Poppers Pit has a new video. Also, check out my other videos. Leave a comment. Check out the description, which has a couple of links to the Pals of the Pit. Alright, can't wait to see you next time.
Like, share, subscribe are the buttons to hit when you pop on by to the Poppers Pit.